Hello everybody, this is Jennifer Jean, and I'm so glad to be back chatting with you all and sharing my experiences I had during the summer. So I live in Florida and I'm back here in Florida, but during the summer we usually go on an extended RV trip, and it was great going through the Midwest to see family and friends and just to catch up with everybody, especially during this time of COVID. I don't know when I'm going to see these folks again. So it was great. And it was really hard to try to do videos in the RV. So I'm back now. I'm going to be trying to put out a video a week for you all. So anyway, the topic of my video today is how to get unstuck in your spiritual life or in your spiritual practice, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's been a long summer, and I kind of took some well-needed time off, but now I'm working full-time as a psychic medium, and I love it. I mean, I love being with clients and helping them through their challenges, but it does take quite a bit to keep this pace up, and I realize I'm kind of running myself into the ground, and there's just some days where I don't feel like doing it. And so what I want to offer you today is some ways to get unstuck and to feel excited and motivated about furthering your spiritual life. So I have to say, this has been, as they call it, a very unprecedented time. For me as a musician, and I know I've talked about this in other videos, I don't have any work right now. And the last gig that I had has been canceled for the year. So I have nothing in the books for the rest of the year. And that's got me pretty bummed, to be honest. And I also have a family member who has some health challenges, and it's really been a struggle trying to stay happy and to keep that person pumped up. So it's been, in that regard, tough too. And then you have COVID. You have, I don't want to get into politics or anything, but you have a lot of people suffering and a very divisive atmosphere right now. So anyway, it's hard to get motivated. It's hard to stay happy all the time. So here's the thing, you don't have to be happy all the time, and neither do I. So anyway, so we'll talk about ways that we realize when our growth is put on hold. And for me, it's just, I don't feel interested in reading about anything spiritual. Some days I don't feel like doing readings. And you may just not be interested, or you don't have the time. I mean, there's other issues going on. You may have to be working your buns off to support your family, or homeschool your kids, or that kind of thing. So you're like, I don't have time for this stuff. You may also resort to some unhealthy habits, like not sleeping well, not eating well, sitting on the couch and watching Netflix all day. That's kind of what I'm doing at night. I just don't feel like doing anything. Also, what I call it spiritual hygiene. You may not be interested in doing those things that replenish your soul, like meditating or yoga or what, prayer or whatever you do. You just may not have the desire right now. So for me, I noticed that my abilities are not as sharp. My psychic abilities are not as sharp. And, I have goals for what I want to accomplish every day. And if I don't feel like I'm really doing that well, those goals kind of go out the window. So, if you are a practicing spiritual person or light worker, then you have to stay grounded and you have to clear your space and that kind of thing. And there's just some days I just don't get around to it. So that can really affect what I do as a spiritual person. So I'm going to talk about ways you can get back on track. And this has really helped me. Still doing some of them, and I always am experimenting with it. But these are just the ways that help me, and hopefully they'll help you. So number one, I set a schedule for spiritual practice. So for me, let's say this morning, I did get up and I did yoga, and I spent a little time, just a few minutes, doing Reiki to clear for the day ahead, and a little bit of prayer for those out there who are having a tough time. So that's kind of what I do. But the thing is, you don't have to do all those in one day. You could pick one. So take one little thing and go to town on it. So let's say today I'm just going to meditate for 10 minutes and that's it. And that will help you get a little more centered and to feel fresh and ready to start your day. So just pick one thing. It doesn't have to be a whole bunch of stuff. You can spend hours on a spiritual practice, and some people do, but I don't have time for that. All right. So the next one is to be easy on yourself. Just to realize that we're all human, we all have our limits, and just to admit defeat sometimes, that you don't feel like doing it, and maybe you don't want to go out and be in a unsocially distanced environment, and if somebody gives you guilt about it, just say, you know what, that's okay. I'm going to be easy on myself. I'm going to take care of me. So those are, and just to be easy on yourself and not feel like you have to do 1,001 things a day. And I think the big lesson of this year is we all really learned how to slow down. So be easy on yourself. The next thing is to get out in nature. And I am really fortunate. I live right off the Gulf of Mexico in Sunset Beach near St. Petersburg, Florida. And here's a view of where I live. And really, I never get tired of that view. And that helps to replenish me, the ocean. I love to live by water. And also, maybe you like to go for a hike. Maybe just open the window, get some fresh air. I mean, if that's as much nature as you can get in one day, that's great. But nature really has the powers to replenish us and to be thankful for our earth and everything on it. So get out, do a little nature walk today if you can. So another thing, for me, because I do this for a living now, is maybe I need a break. Maybe I need a day off, or maybe I need a week off, or maybe I don't know how long I need off. I know other practitioners who have taken a lot of time off, maybe a whole summer off from doing readings or anything, and that's okay. But what I would say is to set a date to come back. So even if you want to take your meditation is feeling stuck and you feel like it's just too much to commit to 10 minutes a day, let's say, I'm going to take a week off, or I'm going to take a weekend off, and see what that does. I mean, you may actually crave it and want to get back into it. So if that's the case, then go ahead and do it. But if you really feel like you want some time away and not to feel like you have to be so disciplined, then just take a week off and see what happens, and see if that helps you come back and have the desire to do more spiritually oriented things. Another thing I like to do, and I like to use indulgence as a spiritual practice. And I mean, it's saying, well, no, I'm just taking time for myself, but you can look at it as a spiritual practice. So maybe I want to take a bath, and that's a form of meditation, really, just sitting in a bath and clearing your mind, reading a good book. Or you could meditate with a cup of tea. What I like to do is meditate with a little bit of chocolate, just to savor the flavor, the experience of tasting something wonderful. You can do whatever you want, but for me, that's what works. So look at it as indulgence, and you don't have to schedule it, just be spontaneous. Just look at it as a spiritual practice. And then maybe then you can add back the things that you love to do. Another thing I like to do is let my freak flag fly. So just to be myself, be crazy, dance around the house, go out with a friend, have a great time, but just be me and be my authentic self. And I think that in itself is a spiritual practice, just to be who you are and not to apologize for yourself, not to feel self-conscious or feel guilty about anything. Just own who you are. And I think that is a spiritual practice. The last thing I want to talk about is having a sense of gratitude, because I think if you wake up every day, if you have the fortune to wake up another day, then you can be grateful for something. You can be grateful for your life. And even if you feel, grumpy, at least you're alive. So maybe every day just think of one thing, write it down or journal, and think of one thing that you're grateful for. And I think this will help you get unstuck and realize that you're worth being here. You're worth being on this planet. There's no one else like you. So have a sense of gratitude. And I'm so fortunate. I have a wonderful home, a husband, the ability to travel if I want to. I mean, maybe not out of the country right now, but I have the ability to do pretty much whatever I want to do. And actually for me, playing music, to keep playing music and even to practice is a spiritual practice for me. So I have so much gratitude for all the gifts I have and for all the opportunities I have and have had. So anyway, that's about it. Hope this helps you. If you want to learn more about what I do, please visit www.readingsbyjenniferjean.com. I have openings for readings, and I am also still taking students for mentorship to get your psychic and mediumship abilities up to snuff. I've had a lot of people go through the program, and it's been great. They've given readings to some of my friends and family, and they've been blown away by how they develop these skills and use them. So right now I have a 1-session and a 3-session mentorship program, and I devise it just for you. So it's built upon what you want to do and what your gifts are, and we will identify what that is. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure, and I will be back hopefully on a weekly basis to bring you more content. Have a great rest of your day. Namaste.